Hello everyone. In the last video, we just spoke about the structure of a nephron and the functions of different parts of nephron. So with that knowledge, we are jumping on to the next topic, that is urine formation. It's a very important question that can be asked in your NEET, and it's a very frequently asked question too. So starting off with the topic, first thing that we must know is there are three steps that are involved in urine formation. So it happens, it's a sequential process and it happens as three steps. The first step is we refer to as glomerular filtration. So we all know what is glomerulus. Just now we saw it is a tuft of capillaries formed from the afferent arteriole, which in turn it is a branch of renal artery. Second thing is tubular reabsorption. So we have seen enough about the reabsorption and the functions of tubules. And the third one is your tubular secretion. So sometimes question can go very simple, like they can ask you mention the three steps in a particular order, something like that. We cannot expect what mindset the examiner has. So glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and the tubular secretion. So as of now, till date, based on the questions that has been asked in your exams, the statements pertaining to glomerular filtration and tubular reabsorption, these are very, very important for your exams. So let us discuss about the points. So first one is the glomerular filtration. So we must know what are the layers that form glomerular filtration membrane. So that can be a question. So glomerular filtration membrane, the amount of blood that glomerular receives, so that is the input that it gets, and we should know about the output, that is GFR. And please note, we will have a separate video on regulation of kidney function. That is a definite question. Okay, you cannot escape from that question at all from your NEET exam. It's a definite question that we will be seeing in a different video. So with respect to glomerular filtration, the process, you should know about the structure of the membrane, the input, and about the output. So first, let us go in an order. So first we'll talk about the input. So talking about the input, so we all know renal artery. From that, we have a branch called afferent arteriole, and that is forming a tuft, and that is called as glomerulus. Now, what is the amount of blood that enters? So what renal artery receives, it is going to send it to the glomerulus. So it is very important to know that it receives around 1100 to 1200 ml of the blood. So amount of blood that enters into the glomerulus is 1100 to 1200 ml of blood. That approximately constitutes around 1/5 of cardiac output. A very important statement pertaining to a NEET exam. This had been very frequently asked. 1/5 of your cardiac output is sent to the renal artery, henceforth to the glomerulus for filtration. So this is the amount of blood that it enters. So you should not confuse it with GFR. GFR is the output. That's what I have mentioned here, right? Output is GFR, input is 1/5 of cardiac output, that is 1100 to 1200 ml of blood. So this 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is getting into glomerulus for what purpose? For the process of filtration. So just imagine that you have a sieve with you, that it's one of an important kitchen appliance, right? So imagine if you take a sieve, uh, on one side you will have a glass or a tumbler, whatever, and you will place the sieve on the top, right? You will place sieve on a top. I know it is not looking like a sieve, instead like a spoon, but manage with me. And you are trying to pour the substance, say for example milk. So if you observe the sieve part, you will be able to appreciate there are just very small spaces through which the milk, the liquid part alone, will flow inside the tumbler, and the remnants will get settled there, right? The same thing is happening with respect to kidney. So what is happening? You are trying the filter, that is the 1100 to 1200 ml of blood, is going to pass through something called as your glomerular filtration membrane. So the structure of glomerular filtration membrane is very important for your exams. So what is this glomerular filtration membrane? It is made up of three layers. It is made up of three layers. One is called as endothelium of glomerular capillaries, because the filtration membrane, so if you take the Malpighian body, on the top we have got the glomerular capillaries, on the bottom we have got Bowman's capsule. So the filtration is also going to start from the glomerulus, pass through the Bowman's capsule and enter into the tubules, right? So the first layer that the blood is going to come in contact is with the endothelium of glomerular capillaries. And in between, we have got something called as the basement membrane or the basement space. And the last layer is the epithelium of Bowman's capsule. The epithelium of Bowman's capsule. So three layers with respect to glomerular filtration membrane. They are the endothelium of your glomerular capillaries, basement membrane in between them, and the epithelium of Bowman's capsule. You need to compare this with the respiratory membrane, wherein we will have epithelium of alveoli first, the basement membrane, and the endothelium. So there it is going to be different. Here it is the endothelium first, followed by epithelium at the last. So what you should know here is the epithelium of Bowman's capsule. It's very important. So epithelium is basically a tissue. So tissue in turn it is made up of many cells, right? Now, this epithelium is made up of some cells called as podocytes that are arranged in an intricate manner. So like a very in a professional way. Why the podocytes has to be arranged in an intricate manner is to leave some just minute spaces. So for example, this is a podocytes. Okay, these are all some podocytes. So they are all arranged in an intricate manner such that like a finger. Okay, so there is only this limited space in between them. Why is this limited space very important? Is to not allow any plasma proteins to get no passed via this filtrate. So no plasma proteins. Okay, no plasma proteins. So podocytes, they are the cells that are present in the epithelium of Bowman's capsule, and it is going to ensure that no plasma proteins are going to enter via that small pores. So all these pores are referred to as filtration pores or the slit pores. They are referred to as filtration pores or what is called as slit pores. Okay, they are referred to as filtration pores or slit pores. So these are the points that you must know with respect to the glomerular filtration membrane and the input. Now what is the output? Output we refer to as glomerular filtration rate, GFR. Definition itself is a very important thing. So it is the amount of filtrate. So the blood is passed through the sieve, that is your glomerular filtration membrane, and the filtrate is going to enter into the tubules. So the amount of filtrate that is formed by each kidney, very important, it's not the total value, it is by each kidney per minute, is called as glomerular filtration membrane. Sorry, glomerular filtration rate, I'm sorry. Amount of filtrate found by each kidney per minute is called as GFR. What is the value? It is 125 ml per minute. It's a very important value. And per day, it is about 180 liters. So usually, you need to be very specific about the unit. So the moment you see 125, you should not mark 125. The moment you see 180, you should not mark 180. You should be very specific with the units. You would have sometimes mentioned, I have seen questions like where you would have mentioned 125 liter per minute, 180 milliliter per day. I've seen options like this. So we at that point of time, no, we get so excited seeing these kind of questions. I know this question, very simple. So you forget the units. So please be very careful. Take some time to mark such questions. Do not think question paper is easy. These are the kind of questions where we will make mistake. NEET 2020 also, we had so many students who gave a positive response after coming from the exam hall. But the moment they checked in the key, they tried to realize that, okay, I've made some silly mistakes. Many have lost marks because of silly mistake. And what are those silly mistakes is these kinds of options. The answer will be 125 ml per minute. But in the option, you would have given 125 liter per minute. seeing 125 minute, we would get excited, we would have marked that. So please do not make such mistakes. Be patient, be calm, try to see the options, try to see the units, and then mark. So it is 125 ml per minute or 180 liters per day. Regulation we will see in a separate video. So this is with respect to glomerular filtration. What is the input, what is the membrane, what is the output. Now the other process, very simple. So the second thing is your tubular reabsorption. We have seen enough in the functions of nephrons itself. Now only one statement they ask in assertion and reasoning is, see, the amount of filtrate formed is about 180 liters per day, but the amount of urine that we excrete is about 1.5 liters per day. So almost if you take 1 by 180th of the portion is only excreted. So which means 99% of the filtrate is getting reabsorbed. This is the statement you should know. So against formation of 180 liters and we have got only 1.5 liters excreted as urine, it is very evident that 99% of the fluid or the filtrate formed is getting reabsorbed. So one important point that you must know here is, which are the substances that are transported by means of passive means? So two things, nitrogenous waste, that is here we will be having urea and water. These are the two important substances that are transported passively. Remaining electrolytes, all that is transported actively. So there is an expenditure of energy taking place there. So two main substances transported passively. So nitrogenous waste and your water. And this is a blunt statement from NCERT you need to memorize. 99% of the fluid is reabsorbed. What is giving you this point is formation is 180 liters, urine output is 1.5 liters. So that is why I'm trying to a conclusion that 99% is getting reabsorbed. And the third step in urine formation is the tubular secretion. So we saw again in the functions of tubules, if you take, I told you, any part of the tubule, it is concerned with maintenance of pH and ionic balance, right? So if there is the talk of pH and ionic balance, there is secretion of hydrogen ions, there is secretion of potassium ions, there is secretion of ammonium ions. So all these substances are secreted into the filtrate. Now there will be many confusions for especially for 11th grade students on understanding what is secretion and reabsorption. See, let us assume that this is my filtrate. So I'll just draw the nephron, a part of a nephron here. I'll just use a darker color, just a minute. So you should just appreciate one thing here. If I say reabsorption, which means the route taken is from the tubule into the plasma. So say suppose this is my nephron where the filtrate are present. This is my blood or my interstitial space. Reabsorption is in this direction. So from my tubules, it is getting into the bloodstream. This is called reabsorption. So it is getting to the place from where it came already. Okay, that is reabsorption. Secretion is from the blood, it gets into the filtrate. So just observe my arrowheads. For reabsorption, the arrowhead is pointing towards the blood, and for secretion, it is pointing inside the tubules. So when I say secretion of hydrogen ions, potassium ions, ammonium ions, I am trying to convey the point that all these ions from your blood, it gets into the urine or the filtrate. Reabsorption from the filtrate into the blood. Okay, these are some points that you must know. So with this, our process of urine formation is done. We'll meet you in the next video. Tata, bye.